Whoa, I bet nobody saw this coming. It is Budget Wednesday on Wednesday. What's up, creators? This is Tom. Welcome back to another Budget Wednesday. If you don't know, this is the show where we go through a budget piece of video equipment or photography equipment, something to improve your photo or video game, either that or some sort of tip to bring your photo or video to the next level. It is quite rare for this series to actually be launched on a Wednesday, but hey, today we are on a Wednesday and I want to talk about this light. This is the Godox SL60W. I know lighting reviews and videos are not the most exciting thing on the YouTube platform, but they are extremely important. This light, which I normally use as my key light, but I've got a big window here on my right and I'm just using this as a fill light right now. But basically this light is a really good deal. I'm actually going to take it off the stand now and I can show it to you just like in front of the camera right now, but the left side of my face is about to get really dark, but we'll just do it. All right, so this is the light. As you can see, I have a softbox on it right now, but this is the actual piece of the light itself. Now, obviously the left side of my face has got significantly darker. That's because, like I said, I was using this as a fill light to just sort of like fill in the this sort of dark shadow on my face here from the sun. It uses a Bowens mount, I think it's called a Bowens mount. So if we can just pull this little catch here, this softbox will actually come off, and I will link a couple of softboxes down below because you don't need to use Octobox like this one. You can use a whole variety of different lighting mounts. That's the nice thing about buying a piece of lighting with a Bowens mount on it, is because you can get any kind of spread of different modifiers to put on the front of it. But there you go. So that is the sort of main component of the light here. This is what actually fires out the brightness. On the back we have some controls. So this is the brightness setting here, power input, and again this is completely dimmable, so you can just dim this right down if you want to. Okay, all right, so now you've had an example of the light in a scenario where it's sort of just filling in the shadows. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to close up the window, I'm going to draw the curtains, hopefully cut off all of the light, and you can see just the light on its own in a key light situation. This is the way I use it a lot on the YouTube channel, on my YouTube channel here. So let's just go and do that. All right, so here we go. So this is a more typical lighting situation where we've just got one key light. Occasionally you might have a kicker or a fill if you're shooting some sort of proper interview, but right now this is a good sort of scenario for me. I've got that big softbox that you saw on the light to my right hand side, and we've got a bit of shadow on the wall. I'm not worrying about that too much. So why am I even talking about this in the first place? And that is the price. Like, this little light is just an extremely good buy. You can pick up this light for around about 130 US dollars, about 120 pounds here in the UK on Amazon. I'll have those links down below, of course, in the description. And there's nothing sort of secretive about this light. It's definitely out in the ether now. I think even Godox has some newer versions, but personally I think for the price, this is such a good investment for a budget filmmaker. Like, you're spending just over $100, £100, and you're able to get a light which you can bring on professional jobs with you. Investing in a decent light and a good softbox is an investment that you will not regret moving forward. We also need to talk about the modifier. So again, I've got that Octobox on there, but if I wanted to put a softbox on or a focus light on there, I could do that. Or I could even throw on these sort of honeycomb hexagon style things to focus the light a bit and decrease the amount of still on the background. These are all going to help you improve your filmmaking because you can play around with different lights and start shaping your light and your video picture. It's sort of likened to something like the Aperture 120D Mark II. That is sort of almost like a direct comparison. There are a couple of caveats I do want to talk about with this light. And the most common complaint is that the fan is quite noisy, and that is definitely true. However, can you hear it right now? No? Yeah, okay, so I didn't think you would be able to hear the fan noise. I have my microphone mounted directly on the top of the camera right now because I'm using a fairly wide lens. Personally, in my experience, I've had absolutely zero issues with the fan noise causing problems either on more commercial shoots or these YouTube videos just where I'm filming in my own little studio. Don't get me wrong, they do make a little bit of noise, but personally, like I said, I've had no issues. So that's kind of it. I just wanted to talk about about the Godox SL60W today, and I wanted to throw it back to a bit of a classic Budget Wednesday where we just take a piece of gear, talk about it, and maybe hopefully there are some of you that are looking at the Aperture, more expensive Aperture versions of lighting, and are maybe interested in going for this model. As always, guys, I will have some links down below if you're interested in checking it out. I'll also have the Budget Wednesday playlist if you want to check that out, and I'll catch you guys next time.